Welcome, everyone, to this instant reaction show on twitch.tv/primetimepk, kick.com/primetimepk, live, and wherever you are getting it, in podcast form or over on YouTube. We have a lot to get to on this one today. As Toxic says in the Twitch chat, a generational heel turn in the WWE as they've finally done it. John Cena's a bad dude. So we're going to get into that here in a little bit. For those on the stream, we're also going to be talking about boxing with Tank Davis taking on Lamont Roach as that went down on pay-per-view this weekend. So it's going to be a two-parter on the stream. For those of you who are listening in podcast form or watching over on YouTube or Dailymotion, this is going to be a two-parter for y'all. So the boxing video is elsewhere. So get the stuff out of the way right away. Sea of Dead, as always. Who doesn't want to celebrate John Cena turning heel with an ode to the Attitude Era with a Stampede Wrestling shirt? So head over to Sea of Dead, seaofdead403.ca for some great Calgary swag, including, put it in the chat wrong. Seaofdead403.ca. There we go. Need the A at the end of it. Who doesn't want to celebrate an Attitude Era-esque heel turn with some Stampede Wrestling gear? So check that out over at seaofdead403.ca. Some awesome stuff as well. We got the Cannon's hat there. And as always, we are fueled by Swift Energy. Head over to swiftenergy.gg and use the promo code PKPrimetime for 25% off, because we need that focus and that energy to discuss whatever that was on Saturday night. So let's dive right into it here. This one's not going to be like a blow-by-blow breakdown or anything like that. This is going to be a what did we just see, and just kind of reacting to everything. If you guys could let me know if the chat's looking and sounding okay. It's looking a little out of sync on my end, but it's looked like that before and everything's been fine. So who's to say? But let's get into it. The obvious big thing comes at the end. And yes, full disclosure, mention it in the chat with Toxic, but it was spoiled for me. It is my own fault, and really, all of those social media things, and all those, here are 5 ways to hack your ultimate performance, and all of those things, they tell you not to look at your phones, and I should have listened, because I do some hosting out here in Calgary, and so I was out there on Saturday night, didn't watch the pay-per-view, or the PLE, sorry. Was just going to watch it this morning. Woke up, rolled over. First thing I did was check my phone, which, again, my bad. And saw a couple of messages about a John Cena heel turn. So, had an inkling that something might have happened on Saturday night. So watched it today with the understanding that there was a John Cena heel turn somewhere in there. But still, watching it along and seeing how it all played out was just, it was art. All of it. And even like down to Cena celebrating as Cody is saying like, yes, we got this. And I had thought if they were going to do that it was going to be before, right? If you guys are new here, we had the videos up on YouTube and did the live streams here. If this was going to be the heel turn, I had said the way you do it with John is Cody says, eat shit and die, which is basically what he said on Saturday in Toronto. And you just like, no, not going to do it. And so then Rock ends up like attacking Cody and helping John Cena win the Elimination Chamber, which you can then tie in as like John was desperate for his last crack at WrestleMania and he sold his soul to the Rock for that. And so when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, I guess, or you could have at least, again, I knew what was happening, but I tried to put myself in that mindset, and it's like, okay, well, I guess this isn't going to happen. And then it goes through, Cena wins the match. The one little like, was how quickly he jumped on the opportunity from Seth Rollins, when before, just chatting with my buddy about it today, you remember back to when they were going to, like screw over CM Punk and all those things at that Money in the Bank, and Cena like attacked John Laurinaitis because he wasn't going to do that, and then this one he jumps on the opportunity to choke CM Punk out after Seth Rollins hits the stomp, and it was I thought it was like that was the first little like that would have been That could have been a bit of a breadcrumb there. And so you get a little bit like, okay, well, like, whatever. Tells a story, is what it is. And then he's celebrating when Cody tells The Rock to go fuck himself. And it's okay. Like, man, I don't know how you could have seen it coming. Pardon the kind of pun. I thought it was so well done. And the camera work and the crowd with the, oh, as the camera goes and Cena. Just perfection. All levels. Perfection. The Rock coming out with Travis Scott, who apparently was really just slapping the shit out of Cody. If you see some of the fan angles on that one, like, god damn, dude. But then and it's The Rock coming out, and he's chiseled in granite with muscles rivaled by only Jade Cargill. And he's coming up the ramp, and it's just like, god, man, like, that's aura, you know? Like, that is just he's the final boss. And he is in that mode perfectly. And there was a lot of criticism about the segment on SmackDown. And I think we ran through it. I liked it more than most. But I do think that there was some. It could have been tightened up just a little bit. But this was perfect. He came out. He said what he needed to say. He stood there. He had this look about him. He carried himself in this way. He was exactly what he needed to be as John Cena is beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes and just anything that's on the ground. All right, guess I'm gonna hit you with this now. Ba-bam. Microphone, sure. Boom, fuck your face. The championship belt, kabam. All of those things. And The Rock is just standing there, stoic, looking like this pleases me. God, like he just, with the bald head and him being huge, kind of looked like Thanos, right? And you kind of get that feeling like this is unstoppable. And so immediately your head goes into, oh my God. And there are so many different layers to this. Like, this is the heel turn we wanted for so long as wrestling fans, and we wouldn't get it. And what was one of the things that we heard when he would finally speak out on it is, I will do it when the time is right. And if there is someone who can replace me, basically, who can go out and do the Make-A-Wish things, can go out and kind of like be one with the kids and all of those sorts of things. And so now a lot of those Cena fans have grown up, and it's now Cody who is this new era. So he doesn't have that responsibility anymore. He hasn't for a while, but you have a guy who can come in and do those things. And a couple of guys, right? Like Punk can do all that too. I probably wouldn't with Logan Paul, but you have a lot of guys who can come in and do those things. So the path is now open to do this. And you would have thought it would have been a real uphill climb to get people to boo John Cena on his retirement tour. Baseball, like the Red Sox and Yankees didn't even boo Ortiz, Rivera, and Jeter when they were doing their retirement tours. And those fan bases hated each other. You think you're going to get wrestling fans? They finally just started cheering that asshole like a year ago. You think you're going to get wrestling fans to boo him? Oh, yeah, you are. Yep, nope, you are. Because he did and then the boo, and then yeah, nope, they're gonna boo that guy. It's excellent. It was so well done. I keep coming back to that. Again, all of it. It was so well done. And this is why I was kind of like, hey, everyone just chill. I mean, not this exact. I wasn't thinking, well, yeah, and then John Cena will turn heel. But I always thought there was at least a bit of a plan. When Rock came out and he was being all nice and he was talking to Cody Rhodes and we were doing the stuff and all that. I can't actually do it. A lot of people can do that a lot better than me. But he's actually like, he is going out and he is really like he's laying it in a little bit thick. And I was like, yeah, like it seems like he turned into a corporate thing, but it was so disingenuous that it had to be acting, or else he is just kind of a sociopath, which might be, but like it was so disingenuous that it had to be something. And then you get the other stuff and it's like, oh no, we're good. I want your soul. And if not, I run everything. So, fuck you. I thought, I was always saying, like, there's something else going on here. They can go back to this. This is him just being, like, overly nice. And they tie it all in perfectly. And now there's such a great story to tell, where it is Cody for the second year in a row now having to go up against basically a hand-picked person from the Rock. I mean, not necessarily hand-picked. That's changing things a bit too much on the Roman Reigns side of things. But it is now Cody going up against two legends in this kind of two-man power trip now with The Rock and with John Cena. And so to have them in that way, and now Cody is going up against like the two stars, and it really is like three eras all combining in this match. It's going to be spectacular. And the build to this is going to be so great. And then on the other side, you have John Cena, who is desperate, who hasn't won a singles match in like 3,000 days now. 6-person match, he's fine. But he hasn't won the singles match in a long time, and now he's pushing for 17. And now if he gets it, do we boo him for beating Ric Flair? Because, I mean, it seems like still rather that guy have the record. So it's all of these different layers that are going through your head as this is all playing out. And so I think the next couple of months are going to be, or month and a half, I guess now, are going to be such an incredible ride that we are going to go on. And I know that is what the Rock was telling everyone, like, just shut up and enjoy the ride that the final boss takes you on. But it does really seem like this is going to be so much fun. I finished that show cursing that we have Saturday PLEs, because you would have a big moment like that, and then the next night is Raw, and you just get to go right into it. Now I gotta wait for this thing, and then I gotta work on Monday night, so I gotta wait extra longer for this thing. But now it is like I cannot wait to see what direction they go now for with this whole thing. So such an incredible storyline after what was a very, very good show. And we'll get into a little bit more of the particulars on Monday's stream here on twitch.tv/primetimepk or kick.com/primetimepk. We'll get into a little bit more of the kind of blow by blow of the show and kind of what we saw. This is just reacting to the, oh my God, John Cena heel turn. And yeah, the kick, and it's all so good. Loved every minute of it. Just couldn't have been more excited about how it all played out. And now you start to think about crazy scenarios, right? Because like Travis Scott, I don't know if Travis Scott is going to be touring around with them and just be like the third man in this whole group, but it got me thinking. Last year we did 2 nights, and this year we're doing 2 nights. But last year we got 2 Cody Rhodes matches. Could we again? You know, like if you want to put, because the other title match right now is Jay against Gunther. If you want to put that kind of second from the top with a big John Cena and The Rock teaming together, I think there's a way you could do that. And I think there are a number of different ones you can pull in, but I think you know where I'm going to go with this one. They didn't get Stone Cold last year, but could you this year? And maybe Stone Cold versus The Rock as on other sides of a tag team thing, but like 4 of the biggest stars of the ever in professional wrestling in one match feels like the next night might be a little anticlimactic, even if it is John Cena going for a championship. But I do wonder if we're going to do this with The Rock. We did a tag team thing with him last year, and we couldn't get that one dude. But maybe we get that because he lives around Nevada. So I wonder if you can get that guy to kind of come in and make that work. So that's where my brain went with everything with that. So I am, again, just so interested at what direction they go with Monday Night Raw and with this entire feud now. I am so very excited to see how this all kind of plays out on this one. But otherwise, like I said, this was a great show. I thought the women's match, you tied in a lot of things great. Jade Cargill coming out, just looking chiseled out of fucking granite, man. And she comes down, and it's a beeline for Liv, and they set that up perfectly with those two being the first 2 in the ring. And then it's a turn for Naomi, and just an other-worldly ass kicking. And you slammed the door on that poor girl, and all of those things, and it was all just absolutely spectacular, what they did with that. And then Bianca's reactions in the corner. And now, with Bianca winning, what direction do you go with this now? Does Jade and Naomi all get tied into a match? And then Io comes out at the end, along with Rhea Ripley. I still think Io's going to be involved in this in some way, but I don't think you just take Rhea out of the equation. So again, where do they go with that whole story? Because honestly, I could see Bianca turning heel out of all of this and saying to Jade, like, yeah, it was my choice. I wanted Naomi as a partner more, so I told Naomi to do the attack and to have a heel turn that way, and then kind of lump everyone into one story with all that for the title. Or Bianca is just the babyface, and she is going for a championship, and it's Jade against Naomi in their own thing, which could be a whole lot of fun as well. So that was, I thought that was good. Trish coming back was awesome, hit all the notes. Tiffany Stratton looked fantastic. It was a very, very good match, and getting us now ready for a Charlotte Flair feud coming up at WrestleMania. And then, yeah, like the men's chamber, obviously incredible. The whole night I thought was really good. Just a couple of other quick notes before we transition in the stream to boxing, and before podcast listeners and YouTube guys, you got to go to the next video for it. I am a huge Pat McAfee fan. The one thing I thought that it was a little too on the comedic side for a show that's supposed to be serious. Like I didn't mention before, but Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, like, holy hell, did those guys go all out? And the story in that was great. And then Randy Orton comes back. And there's a lot you can do now with that whole situation. And now Randy with John Cena, and but there's a lot that you can do with all of this now. And anyway, sorry, back to the Pat McAfee thing. I thought this night needed a little bit more seriousness. And he's making jokes, and Cody tells The Rock to go fuck himself. And the line of, that's the craziest thing that has ever been said in the history of saying things, is a hilarious line. But I don't know if it really captured the whole moment of that whole thing. And there's a few times where, like, he is amped, and he is wired, and he is ready to go. And 99 times out of 100, I love that. But this one, it just felt like it was a little too comic-y for what was a very impactful, very serious night of professional wrestling, to the extent that pro wrestling can be serious, you know. But I thought he needed to tone it down a little bit, and I don't normally say that about Pat McAfee. All right, so that is going to do it for those on the stream. That's going to do it for the wrestling side of things. For those who are listening in podcast form and on YouTube, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you guys so much. Again, boxing is part 2 of the podcast and the YouTube video coming up in just a second. So we are going to duck away and come right back on the stream with more boxing. And for podcast listeners and YouTube watchers, that is going to be on part 2.